Background of these teams you've played before, some of them multiple times. Is the preparation a little quicker, any different? You have some background on them.
Yeah, I think it can be a little quicker. I think a lot of times you go back and watch what you didn't execute well. For example, for watching the prior 2 times we played them and try to implement that and change some things, and they're going to do the same thing. But I mean, every turnaround and every scout in this league is really fast, especially with the schedule that we play. So you have to do a lot of preparation on your own, a lot of film watching on your own. But I feel like this team does a really good job of, being able to prep and practice and then actually translating that into the game.
Are you a film watcher? Do you really get into that very deeply, or is it a lot more kind of what you see out here on the court practice-wise?
I mean, yeah, I watch film. I mean, I don't stay up all night and break down every single second of every game, but we go back and watch every single game. We break it down with our certain coaches. We watch some as a team. So there's a lot of film watching. I think when you're a professional athlete, that's what you have to do. But also you can't always do a bunch of stuff on the court. So that's what you have to do is watch film. That's the best way to learn and implement in the game.
How has the win against the Liberty given you guys confidence going into the last 4 games before the break?
Yeah, I think it's just a game you can really build off of, but at the same time, I don't think it's something you can get, too high from. Yeah, it's a great win, but, that's not the end-all be-all. You just have to keep continuing to build, and there's a lot of things we still could have done better in that game. I thought our defense was pretty good, though. Our offense, I thought we pushed the ball well. So just continuing to build. You can't come here and play a great game versus Liberty, then come out tomorrow and not be ready to play. So I think it's just continuing to build from it. We don't want to just beat them. We want to win every single game. So just continue to stack our confidence as we go forward.
How's the dynamic been different with Katie Lou in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I think, it's something that we were used to. Obviously, she started at the beginning of the year, so I don't think it was really it's anything that's much different. I think our team's done a really good job of adjusting, whether the coach changes the lineups or whether what subs are coming into the game. I think everybody's comfortable and kind of knows their role, and that's something we've kind of executed all year.
This team seems to be, you talk about finishing earlier in the season, the fourth quarters largely have been better the last few weeks. Is that just a matter of experience, kind of getting further into the season?
Yeah, I think there's definitely been some games where we've gotten down and gotten some deficits, but also been able to dig out of them. And but at the same time, we go to Vegas and we played a really great game, but then the fourth quarter wasn't very good to us. So I think it's just still that mental sharpness. At times we have it and we have gotten a lot better, but still at times there are instances where we're not as great. So I think we'll just continue to grow in that way. But we have done some really good things. I think we have gotten better at, when a team goes on a run, we've been able to respond a lot better than we had maybe at the beginning of the year.
Coach was talking an awful lot about how this team's chemistry has been building. How have you seen it in actuality on the court with the start of the season to now?
I think it's just something you feel kind of as a player. You can just know where your teammates are at a little bit better. I think especially me, working with our post players a little bit more. Thanks, Lou. You just work with, you just work with them better. You know where they're at. I think AB, finding her spots and knowing where I can put her in a position to be successful. I think everybody running the court in transition a little bit better, knowing that we want to play fast, getting the ball out of the net fast. I think it's just something you feel. It's not something that's always really talked about.
What was the reaction on your phone, on your social media when you had that triple-double?
No text messages, nothing. Nobody reached out.
Important question in the back left, I think.
I see you recently did a TikTok with AB. Can we expect more of those in the future?
Remains to be seen. Can't give away all my secrets.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Last one from Matt.
there's been a few times where Aaliyah's intervened in pressers on your behalf, just joking about the half-court shot. I guess midway point through the season, how's your friendship?
Yeah, I think AB is always somebody that's going to have her teammates back, whether it's myself or whether it's anybody on the team. She just wants the best for every single person. She's such a positive light in our locker room. She's a great voice. She's always there whether things are great or whether things aren't as great. She's just a very consistent person in our locker room. She's been somebody that's been really helpful throughout my rookie year, obviously having gone through it just a year ago. And I think you can tell our chemistry is really coming along, and a lot of that has just been developed through games. So the more practice that we get together, only the better it's going to get. But I'm really thankful for her.
Christy, that's a win over New York, but it feels like something a little more for this group than just a W. What's the biggest takeaway, kind of a broader sense from that game?
Just who they are, the #1 team in the league right now. For them to come here and us play the way we did. Just leading up to it, the Phoenix game, we grew in that game, and then you go play Vegas. That was a tough game, played good 3 quarters, but then to come out against New York, have a tough offensive quarter in the second and the third quarter, but still keep playing hard defensively. That's just where we grew. And team win the other day.
There's a poise and a mental toughness that seems to be growing with this group. Have you felt that over these couple of months that you've been together now?
Yeah, I think that just goes to the same message I just keep trying to say. You know, this is an inexperienced young team that just needs time to grow. The expectations out there for what this team should be doing right now, you know, I've just got to keep it in, you know, keep everyone focused, and we just have to keep getting better.
What does a win like that against New York do to this team's confidence moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, to go back in that locker room and to have all those, you know, amazing things that had happened. You know, Lexi played well, Dee Dee get some great shots, played well, and then for Caitlin to get that triple-double in the win against New York, I mean, you couldn't have scripted it any better.
Katie Lou was in the starting lineup, out back in. How was the dynamic a little different with her in the starting five?
Yeah, you know, Katie Lou is a team player. Whatever we need from her, whatever that is, whether that's a 3 or a 4, you know, she challenges the defense when she's able to play the 4 a good bit with her shooting ability, and then also as the 3. I mean, you're able to stretch and have just a bunch of really good shooters on the floor with her in there. So, you know, I think she just brings her length, brings another dynamic, and then her ability to just contest shots and get rebounds.
You brought up Caitlin's triple-double, obviously a historic moment for her and this team, but how are you continuously just shocked by she just keeps one-upping herself and doing all these crazy things?
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's an extraordinary player, person. She was more concerned about that win. I mean, that's what's so awesome about her. I mean, yes, she was excited, but, you know, to get that win against New York was everything to her.
What does it mean for Christy Wallace to just make the Australia Olympic team?
Yeah. Got that news the other day. I mean, that's just incredible. Dream come true for her. And, you know, we're all really happy for her. It was cool to hear her say, like, when she called her family and talked to them and gave them the news, how awesome it was.
Christy's been a role player for this team. Just the minutes that she gets, she seems to maximize when she has. What have you seen out of her that she, kind of every time her number gets called, she just seems to be ready?
Yeah, well, that's, you know, one of the reasons when I was able to have the opportunity to bring her here, that's what she does. Whatever's needed for the team. Like, she will be the, you know, pick up the best offensive player, you know, defend whoever, you know, be ready to shoot wide open shots when they're open, run the offense if we need to. Like, she's just able to help us wherever we need it.
How can she?
Do you feel this team playing looser, freer, primarily through the month of June to now? It just feels like the game's slowed down for them almost.
I don't know if it's looser and freer. I think it's just experience. I think it's, you know, time together, chemistry, understanding where people are going to be in certain moments and not, you know, trying to figure it out on the fly like we had to do early. So I would give it more of just the timing and chemistry and just coming together as a team.
You feel the learning happening quicker as you start to repeat opponents now, the second, third, fourth time against teams?
Yeah, you know, regardless of who we play, we're trying to, you know, we set our individual goals and our team goals, and, you know, whatever we need to work on in those moments, we try to compare, like, what happened in the New York game to get us ready for the Washington game. What can we really focus on that happened in New York to help us get ready for Washington? So, again, it is just constantly just trying to get better in different areas.
You've had a few days off. You have a weird noon tip against Washington tomorrow. What's the message going into that early game?
Yeah, I think, you know, sometimes that game after the game is really tough. You know, like to beat New York, you know, and you have all this energy and excitement just to make sure, like, regardless of who the opponent is, show up, do the exact same thing.
2 days off before New York, and then 2 days off now after that win. Is that kind of a sense of recognizing player fatigue as it just gets closer to the break?
Just what we have coming up, that played a part in it, you know, with the games coming up. And then, you know, sometimes as a coach, things that happen, you know, things that happen good, and there was a schedule before, you think about that. But, you know, these guys got in and got a bunch of shots up and worked on some 5-on-0 stuff to help Dee Dee in her transition to get more minutes.
How do you see Dee Dee kind of, as you start to work her into the mix now, she could be a very integral part of this puzzle, kind of coming in the middle like this. Where can she maximize her effort?
Yeah, I think we're just lucky to have a player like Dee Dee who has the experience that she has. You know, playing in Minnesota with those great players that she played with. I mean, she's just the ultimate vet. Like, whatever our team needs, she's willing. She made a couple cuts in the game the other night that got her a wide open layup just because she recognized the defense, just made a vet play. But just really excited to have her available for us now.
With Temi's right thumb injury, just what's the timeline on that for her to come back?
Yeah, we're just kind of waiting to hear. Like, we're in a holding pattern right now and waiting to hear where we are with her.
Win over New York really gave this team quite a spark. What did you see out of the second half of this group? Up, down, came back, and finished it off.
I think we just saw some good poise. I think, we're young, but we really came together when they went on their run. And we've been really emphasizing, that teams are going to go on runs. I think we saw that in the Phoenix game. We saw that in the New York game. And the way we handled it and just took it possession by possession to get the stops we needed and score the points we needed, and then came out with the win.
We can break down X's and O's all we want. The mental aspect of this, though, this team seems to have grown over the course of this first 2/3 of the season. Are you seeing that? Just the toughness is a little more there?
Yeah, for sure. I think just with experience too, and playing together and getting those reps together, and being in these situations now multiple times, you can just see people feeling more confident. Like, we know what to do, we know what we're supposed to do when we play these teams again, and can really use that to go forward and give us that confidence.
How does a win like against New York affect the locker room afterwards in these last couple days?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think everyone is feeling good, especially the way we won that game. It felt really good to have good runs, to combat their runs, and then really just execute in that fourth quarter. And people stepped up big throughout the whole team. I think it was such a good, well-rounded win, and so it was a lot of fun in the locker room. We know we have another really important game ahead of us tomorrow, so we're making sure that we are focused on the present right now as well.
You mentioned the TikTok there and all this, and so just everything. This team's having some fun, given the challenges first part of the season. What's it been like just to see everybody sort of relax into this, though, and sort of enjoy the moment right now?
Yeah, I think it's been great. It's been a really fun process of getting to know everybody on the team. We do have some new faces, some new connections here, and so it's been a lot of fun. We have a very lighthearted group, you can tell, and people love to joke around, people love to mess with each other, and so I think people are starting to see that on the outside, that's something that we do in the locker room.
You need in a situation like this, a team needs that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. I think, there's a lot of people watching us, a lot of pressure, a lot of opinions at all times. And so having this group and having such a lighthearted group and such a, team that can really take things seriously, but also have fun when we want to have fun, it's made it easier to handle anything that's come our way.
What's the biggest strides Caitlin's game has taken in this first part of the season from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's always been, this player. I think we are just now seeing it come out in the triple-double and the things like that, just being rewarded for it. But us playing with her and her confidence, every shot she takes, I feel confident that it's going to go in, trying to find where she wants the ball and where she wants to be in positions. But we've really started to push the pace and run the floor, and I think that's something that she's excels at really well. And so us being able to run with her and get to those spots that she wants to throw it, we've gotten a lot better at that and get it together as a unit.
What does it mean to be an Olympian? I know you said last week it would be a dream.
Yeah, it's really special. It's definitely a dream come true. It's something that I've dreamed of as a young kid. So to finally get my name called up into the team was a really special moment.
How did you officially find out? Who told you or called you to?
Sandy called me that morning, and I was just a bag of tears. So so that's how the call went, but it was a really special moment.
I saw you and Lexi jumping around before the game. Is that when she found out, I presume?
Yes, that's when Lexi found out. I hadn't been telling anyone, but the rumor slowly trickled through the team.
Tully's been an Olympian too, if I'm not mistaken. Have you had a chance to share the moment there, or did she have a chance to kind of fill you in on what you're in for?
Yes, she just said embrace the moment and enjoy it. But yeah, it's really cool having another Olympian on the team, and just getting to learn off her throughout the season. It's been really good.
Ever since the announcement, have you been able to talk to your Olympian teammates? What's that going like?
Yeah, well, we stay in touch anyway. We're friends, so we're very close anyway. But they're all just wrapped and really excited just to get over there and start.
What has been your biggest takeaway from this first part of the season for you? You've gotten minutes here and there, but you seem to maximize them when you can get them. What's been the best part of this for you?
Yeah, just play my role. I'm just whatever they ask me to do, I'm willing to do it, and I'll give it everything I have. So just whatever role it is on the day, give it everything I have.
Which one of those roles are you most comfortable in, or do you like the most?
It changes all the time. But yeah, I like defensive objectives. So being able to stop someone or make them do this. So I really enjoy that and being able to guard people.
That can often set the tone for the team. Do you kind of take charge of that as well? Like, hey, we know the defense will help the offense take care of itself.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the typical thing that's always been said. But yeah, it's something when I'm out there, I really like to do, and I like to guard people, and I know that flows into offense.
You said Opal's all chat. When you see Jade Wednesday, what's that going to be like?
Oh yeah, I'm actually catching up with her tonight. So we'll see each other tonight. We're close, so I'm excited to see her, and I know she's just over the moon as well.
What's the mood of this team after that win over New York?
Yeah, really excited, really excited. It was a big win, good home win. We had a great crowd, and I think we can just use that momentum and keep going forward with it.
What's the preparation like for a noon game? Because there's a very different mentality at Scott. I know it's still basketball, but like you've had some 8 o'clock games, this noon game. How does the early change your whole morning?
I like the early games because you're done before dinner and you can have a nice little dinner and the afternoon off. So, so it doesn't bother me, but I know some people have to get up early and it's a schedule thing. So, but we figure it out.
Get up and go.
That's it.
I know all your focus on the Fever right now, but the Australian roster is pretty good. Have you had a chance to just think expectations or discuss what you all could accomplish once that time comes?
Yeah, well, the goal is a medal. We're currently ranked 3rd in the world, so we're hoping that we can kind of go for one of those medals and try to get a gold, but be on the podium at least.
Kelsey, what's the confidence level of this team after a win like that one against New York?
I think it kind of put in perspective what I talked to you guys about last time, just as far as like using our West Coast trip as a learning experience, and I think it showed as far as the grit down the stretch, what we needed to do to win. I think the fans and the crowd kind of helped us, with a little, pick me up too. So I think that kind of put together a really good win for us against a really great team.
Now that you've had a couple of these comeback wins, now that the team has that kind of confidence, can you see that in sort of that third quarter timeout or that media timeout in the fourth quarter that, hey, when we're in it, we got this now?
Yeah, I would definitely say the last stretch of the third quarter, like that the last 5 minutes of the third quarter going to the fourth is kind of like, if we're down and we need to like kind of get going and be in a position to kind of like make a comeback, now is the time. But we don't want to get to those positions if we don't have to,
Kind of chasing that from the first part of the season. That was something that seemed to be missing in that first month.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, that experience that you get, being a part of those games, being a part of those experiences where you get to the grit of it, get in the trenches and kind of get ugly and mucky, kind of sees where we at, and I think that we responded well in New York.
One of the biggest storylines from that game, besides the win, was Caitlin's triple-double. What was your reaction when you saw what her stat line was?
I was playing the game, so I can't. I don't know
when you realized that, like when you were told that she had a triple-double, what was your reaction?
I'm honestly not surprised. I mean, I think if you guys seen her do it, for accumulation of 4 years, I don't think it'll be too difficult on the pro level. So.
What does it mean for this team and for you guys to beat Phoenix last weekend, New York this week, to get signature wins within 10 days? How has that felt and changed things for you?
I think it's we haven't seen it a lot in our years past, so I think it collectively shows where our growth is going. The inclusion of C Squared and what she brings to the table, as well as AB finding a different kind of rhythm, and we just kind of flushing the gaps to kind of fill in where we need to get those signature wins. And I think it takes more than just obviously putting the ball in the hole. It takes both sides of the floor. It takes knowing the people you're playing against, the personnel. So I think we collectively are getting better.
You're the one I've heard say it. Are you the one who calls her C Squared? Does anyone else do
I don't know. I know I do. It's literally C and the 2 equation. But she's that great, man. C Squared. How can you go wrong? And it's CC, so 2 too. So.
Christy Wallace, the minutes kind of come and go for her, but she seems to maximize her time on the court. What's impressed you most about her first part of the season?
She's one of the most professional people, for one, that I've been across, and I think she's one of the greatest humans. So I think collectively, even though the opportunities don't come as the way in which she probably personally will want or what she sees, I think that she does a great job of being the next man up. When her numbers call, she does that really, really well, and that's probably why she's about to go be an Olympian potentially. So
she's in.
Yeah, she's in.
She talked about defense, and we know defense can kind of set the tone for this team. When you all are able to kind of find the lineup that's able to get the stops, it seems to really be what pushes this team in the right direction.
I agree. I think you kind of saw it in New York. When we were able to kind of it's tough to guard Stewie. That's not an easy person to guard. So you get out and transition to kind of get backs from our defense. You get to see us play faster. You get to see us be a little bit more fluid. Our chemistry shows when our defense is really good and we can get out on the offensive end.
You all enjoying this more right now than you were maybe a month ago?
I think I've always kind of enjoyed it, but I think it definitely feels good to have wins in the column. It's more than we've had in a while, so I'll take it.
Kelsey, you've hit some big shots in your career, but last couple of wins, you've been really influential down the stretch.
Oh, thank you, man.
Wondering just your confidence level and in late games where you kind of are mentally.
Like I said, man, I like to think I'm a hooper, so for me, it's always about having a next play mentality. But kind of like Wally's kind of focus on the defense area and kind of come in and be. For me, that's the same thing. If I can come in and if the game is going a certain way, I feel like I'm gonna always be ready. Even if I miss, I'm gonna take the moment. If it's time for C Squared for me to be ready and C Squared needs me, You know, I want to do my best to be ready, and you know, I'm never not gonna do that. So that's why I stay after and shoot. You know.
What's that moment like though on Saturday? You've got a full building, kind of all eyes on you on that one play. To knock out a shot like that to have.
I felt like a Hawkeye, man. Shout out to the Buckeyes. No, it was a really great moment. Like I said, you know, the game was kind of going in different kind of ways for me, offensively, and so, like I said, I want to have the next play mentality. So I think for me, it was just about, you know, for one, I was in transition. You know, I was on a wing, and so, you know, when C-Squared get up to you, it's kind of like, you know, let it fly, but obviously be ready. So my mindset is to always be ready, man. That's all I could do.
After the Phoenix win, you were talking about the belief that this team has always had in themselves. So for that to, you know, pay off against New York, what's that been like in the 48 hours since? Hopefully
we could keep cultivating that. That energy and that confidence can carry you a lot of ways, and I think that we could keep utilizing the work and what you guys see behind the scenes and go and win games like this. I think it will cultivate a unbelievable culture. Like, I don't think too much to stop us. It would only be us that could stop us at that point, you know.